Welcome back to Cocktails with Queens. Tonight's going to be special, y'all. We're joined by Grammy-nominated R&B singer and songwriter with a powerful voice. Please welcome to Cocktails with Queens, the fabulous Angie Stone. Hey, Angie.
Hi. How are you, sweetie?
Oh, bless. We're so happy that we could get you on the show tonight to celebrate you. Now, you have been in the music industry for more than 4 decades, girl, long time. And you know, people come and go all the time. How did your passion for music help you better manage your mental health with all of the changes that happen?
Well, one of the things that was easy for me to balance was, with my spirituality in place, it's always easy to juggle issues because that's my go-to, Whenever there's a stop or start moment, I just pick the Bible up or I pick up that spiritual armor and I'm covered. So I've always had a time struggling through life, but who hasn't? So, we just have to, fight with the ammo that we're used to. And that's just my go-to.
And can I say just really quick, I love that you say that because so many people are so quick to check out.
Oh, yeah. They're quick to check out because they're embarrassed. A lot of people don't like to come forth out loud when, I believe that when God blesses us and gives us the platform, that we mustn't be ashamed of what it is that we've been called to do. And it's time to give it back. It all belongs to Him to begin with. So we've got to pay it forward as well as recognize whose it belongs to.
Angie, I just love your voice because you have that type of timeless voice that you could just put your whole album on and just really just groove out and chill out and pray with it. You know what I mean? And I always appreciate that kind of songstress. I just wanted to say that. However, you have worked with some talented artists throughout your entire career, but fans have been pushing for this certain collaboration with your ex-boyfriend, D'Angelo. So,
but people have been pushing for that. Our son is 26. It's been 26 years. It just proves that great stuff will always be great stuff. It's like when you have a standard, it's a standard. Nothing can undo a standard. We were the real deal. True Holyfield package. And at the end of the day, as much as people wanted to do, I have to blame a lot of the people and a lot of the fans for disrupting the flow of greatness. Because what happened was between the world and fans and, idiocy, all these people tore that relationship apart. And these very same people want it back together. And now it's almost mission impossible because you can't undo it, what you've done. And, we will always, through our son, have that musical prowess. Our son is doing very well with his music now. And it is a collaboration of who we are. It's a DNA. So, D and Angie, that's our makeup.
Hey,
I like that.
I do too.
Wow.
Oh, Angie,
Yes.
Child. I know your whole life and career. Okay. I absolutely love you. And I'm actually extremely happy that you're here talking with us. And I'm sitting here watching you while you've released a new album. Now, you've been in this game for multiple decades, and you're a songwriter all these decades. So how in God's name? Now, it's tough. When we get in the studio, we didn't wrote about everything that you can possibly write about.
Right.
But how did you get your mind in a place to write about something from a different perspective for this new album?
I'll tell you how that happens. You get to a place where you challenge yourself and you say, I'm done. And you know how many times I've said I'm done? Girl. Because in my world, I like playing spades. I like doing cookouts. I like being with my friends, my family. I don't always like to tour. I don't always like to be out there going crazy with the fans. I just want to do real homegrown stuff. And then every now and again, I put myself in a position where I need to hear the kind of music I want to hear. And in order to do that, sometimes you have to make that kind of music. You know, I found myself in the studio trying to prone my kids into what they should be doing. And in doing that, I'm working for everybody else. So I put my mind in a place where, you know what? It ain't over until it's over. So if I got one more song I can muster out that will make a difference in someone's life, I'm going to spew it out. If it comes out and it touches people, this last album, believe it or not, is in comparison to Mahogany Soul. People are loving this record because every song on there kind of touches a grown mentality. We are grown up now. So we're doing issues of life. Right. So it's easy to do what you love to do. I love good music. So if I can't find it nowhere, I'm going to make it.
I love it.
And I listen to my album almost every day. Okay.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm telling you. And speaking of liking what you do, I've been listening to the new song with our good friend, Musiq Soulchild. You have a single with him called The Gym. Let's take a listen.
Well, Jim, you know,
feels like I'm getting thin. This ain't gonna work out again. There's nothing like the gym.
Ain't no forgiving this. Can't work this out. I'm declining your membership. I'm too fit for your game. You can't keep playing go. This ain't gonna work out with him. It's nothing like the gym.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant concept. You know, we all be down to the gym. So everybody can relate to this record, The Gym. But how was it working with another songwriter, Musiq Soulchild? Did you guys work in the studio together when you created this, or was this something that was apart? And how was it collaborating as songwriters?
Well, you know, Musiq Soulchild and I, we have the utmost respect for one another. It's a trust factor. I don't have to be in the room with him to know what he's going to bring. He doesn't have to be in the room with me to know what I'm going to bring. However, we're working on a project together called House of Flav, where we are grooming new artists. So it's kind of easy to know where we both sit. And so when he wanted to do this song, he had done the song before I even know he put his voice on it. He had already done it. And by the time I heard it, I had done my vocals. And when I heard it, I'm like, oh my God, because the arrangements that he added to it only enhanced it. And so it made me eager to enhance my vocals. And as a result, it turned into a masterpiece that when people hear it, they go, okay, I'm expecting that. So, you know, it's easy working with somebody who understands great music and understands not to overdo it, and understands, you know, this is not about being better than, it's about equal status and us saying, okay, we have got to make this the best it can be. So I don't care who outdo whatever, because we're trying to get to the finish line together.
It is what you would call a true collaboration.
Yes. Yes.
Angie,
and it's kind of what D'Angelo and I used to do. I mean, we collaborated on everything together, and it's just like a spoon and a fork. You know, the spoon was for the dessert, the fork was for the meat. So it's kind of like that kind of collaboration. You know, you kind of know where it fits, and it was an even keel.
Angie, Brian Smith in the comments in the chat, we have a bunch of people showing you love in the chat, says Angie is looking great. We have a lot of people commenting on how great you're looking. And I want to circle back to what you mentioned earlier. I didn't know this. You said how people that want y'all together were kind of responsible for breaking y'all up. And that's really sad. When you were saying that, I was like, I wanted to hear more about that. And I want to ask you, how did your challenges in your past relationships, you know, serve as inspiration for this album and for you to still be positive? Because that's got to be painful. You know what I mean? You put
very painful when you, let me put it this way. When I was at the top of the charts before D'Angelo was successful, I was with a group called Vertical Hole. I was doing my thing. I think we was top 20 at the time. I brought myself off that plateau to help a young brother on the come up, not knowing what that was going to be like. Turned out to be a great collaboration, like you said. And I think that people were all for it until it actually blew up in the faces and they went like, wait a minute, wait, now it's kind of fine there. And I'm like, you're like 4 years late. He was fine 4 years ago. And so, it's kind of people started getting in there feeling, and they forgot about Angie Stone for a minute. It became, we ain't interested in her. We need to be focused on him. And I think they started dismissing me as an artist because it was something that they wanted to be involved with. And a lot of people, journalists mainly, a lot of people that were interviewing me and interviewing us, they horned in on the 10-year age difference. They horned in on the fact that I was older than he was. And they made such a big deal out of it that they really burdened the fact. I mean, everybody's doing it nowadays. It is what it is. Love is love. And my thing is, they really tore the brigade down. The cornerstone of that union was torn down because people were envious and jealous. And at the end of the day, even when you let go, you still have to look at how God manufactured the source. We ended up having a beautiful son at the end of the day because God said, you know what, I'm not done yet. And that was my answer to all of this. When I wrote the song, No More Rain in This Cloud, my sunshine has come, I'm all cried out. There's no rain in this cloud. It's because God blessed me to say you did nothing wrong.
I think it's really sad. I think it's really sad when it comes down to when you have a Black man and a Black woman and you were the bigger star. I remember my first video was a D'Angelo video. We came by the studio because I was friends with Dom. Remember Dom? Rest in peace to Dom.
I wasn't allowed to come to that video.
Oh,
well, it's so crazy because I actually came up with the entire concept.
Really?
Multiple people. Yeah.
Me and Those Dreaming Eyes of Mine was the video. You came up with that concept.
I came up with the entire concept of him playing every instrument, him being the person playing the drum. Because my theory was people need to know that you're playing all these instruments. Of course, they took the credit for it, but I wasn't allowed to come to the video shoot because he was going to be there with the beautiful Claudia Jordan, and it was okay.
No. Wait, let me clarify. I was a substitute. They had another girl when she showed up. I guess she didn't look like.
Okay, they found you at the mall. Trust me, they told me everything.
Yeah. I didn't get his number.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you about it because you were stunning. And I will have to tell you, like I said, they were doing all kinds of things back then to control the narrative. So I'm just telling you, as a sister, I would never, as long as I'm Black, let a man come between me and my sisters ever.
Angie, can I add to that story?
Sure.
Because I went to the album listening party.
They put me out. They put me out the limo.
Girl,
What?
Yes.
Oh, God.
And Angie, did you know I did not find that out till years later, and my heart was broken because had I known, I would have said, "Y'all don't do that. Don't do that."
Yeah,
and I am also.
I was pregnant. I was there. We drove up in the limo. He didn't really know what was going on because he was looking like, what are they doing? They pulled another limo up beside of us and told him to get out and kind of let me walk in by myself. I think I was 3 or 4 months pregnant at the time, but they didn't want anybody to see it. They wanted him to have a Hollywood moment. So he escorted you in and I was forced to trail behind. And the song about that, there was an Amani party and the background singer that I helped him hire missed her flight and they had to end up stuffing me in her suit to get up there and sing background, if you recall that day. So that night, I had to end up singing background for that show. And I was just broken. I was broken. It was just like,
over the years, I've never been able to clear that air. Because had I known that that's what he was doing, sister.
It ain't your fault. It was business. And guess what? The fact that I understood business and I knew that I was being X'd out, it had nothing to do with you. You were just a pawn in their vicious game. They used it.
Well, can I because I feel like you have your head on your shoulder so purposeful.
Yes.
And you speak so poised like a grown ass woman that has been through some things and ain't bitter. Ain't pointing the finger, ain't doing none of that. And I feel that. I can feel how appointed you are speaking. And so I absolutely love it because you ain't let them, you know the truth, and you
Yeah, and I would not let them break me, and I would not let them get me upset with Claudia or Vivica, because at the end of the day, D'Angelo was very young. He was taken advantage of by the industry. I'm not even blaming him. At this point, it was just all the other folk. But I mean, people, at the end of the day, they really hurt, in my opinion. They damaged a beautiful situation, because I don't think he's where he ever was.
Wow.
Well, Angie, I would like to apologize to you for what the industry did to you. That was my first video. I had no idea any of this stuff was going on, and I didn't get involved in it. I did my job and I left. If you
don't owe me an apology, don't do that.
No, I feel like the world owes you an apology for what you went through, and I just want to say that before we go.
And I just want to say to you too.
Thank you, but that wasn't necessary. You did not do anything. Neither one of you did anything to me. But can I tell you this? I feel like a queen, because at least you respect me enough to give me the opportunity to talk to you about it. And
we love you.
Time, let me just say this to you. It's like shedding skin off my back. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, Queen. So listen, we hate that we have to go, because girl, we could do a whole nother section.
I know.
Of warning the young ones that this is how things go down, that the business don't change, but we have to wrap.
All right.
Angie Stone, thank you so much for being here, Queen. We wish you continued success. We really do. Y'all go get her new
I love all of you. Thank you.
We love you back.